Welcome to Dajobnik.
Still trying to get my head around Westplaining, so I want to give you a couple of examples of statements made by Palestinian leaders, and I want you to Westplain them to me and tell me how the West understands these statements, and not, as you say, giving them the respect of listening to what they actually say.
Yes.
This is Hussein Asher, the PLO Executive Committee Secretary General, January last year, commenting on what we call the pay-for-slay policy, that the Palestinian Authority pays salaries to terrorists in jails. Been very controversial. The US has tried to get it to roll back. Here's what he has to say. I would like to reassure you of our firm and unwavering commitment. Our martyrs, our prisoners and their families is where we cross the line. Even if we have one penny left, it will be spent on the families of the martyrs and prisoners. They are our purest, most permanent, loftiest and most precious jewel, he says, referring to convicted terrorists in Israeli jails, promising they will give them the last penny in the Palestinian Authority budget. What do Western donors to the PA hear when they hear that?
Oh, clearly that they are providing welfare to families in need.
Why?
Because those are families in need.
And that's how they understand?
Yes.
But they've been very clear in black and white.
That is why Westplaining is so powerful.
But this is the glorification of terrorism. It's very, very clear.
Again, as I say, to the credit of Palestinians, they are clear. They have made their priorities clear for over a century. They tell us what they want. They tell us what they're trying to achieve. They tell us what they value. But it's, you know, the implications of coming to terms with what they really want are substantial. It means that the solution is not in getting out of the West Bank or removing territory, removing settlements or ending the occupation. It means that Palestinians are, as a people, are really committed to the fact that there will be no sovereign Jews between the river and the sea. And
okay, let me give you another example.
Okay.
We've been very clear that the day after Hamas, after this war ends, the Gaza Strip cannot be governed by elements that support terrorism. Whoever governs Gaza must be committed to fighting terrorism, not funding it. The soundbite I like to use is they must be routing Hamas, not rooting for Hamas. Now here we have a Palestinian Authority Prime Minister Mohammed Shtayyeh, beginning of December, saying, Hamas cannot be eliminated because it exists everywhere and is part of the Palestinian political fabric. Westplain that to me.
Hamas doesn't represent the Palestinians. That's my favorite these days.
Go on.
So my favorite Westplaining moment these days is the general Hamas doesn't represent the Palestinians.
Which we've heard from many Western leaders.
Oh, yes.
It's not true?
Absolutely. And they tell you, Hamas represents us. We love them. We love what they did.
And these are their rivals. This is the Fatah party.
This is their rivals. Any notion that in that sense they are moderates, and they say they are part of us. They are who they are. They represent our deepest ethos, our deepest identity. But the West would like to tell a story that Hamas is a bunch of aliens that took over just a peace-loving strip that was minding its own business.
Even though the Palestinians themselves in poll after poll are saying, actually, we think the October 7 massacre was legitimate. We think it was justified. We think strategically it was the correct decision. We keep hearing this message that Hamas doesn't represent the Palestinians. What is getting lost in translation here?
Well, that's exactly the nature of Westplaining. Nothing gets lost in translation. Again, to the credit of Palestinians, they're very clear. They make it clear that Hamas represents their deepest desires, their deepest ethos. Hamas is merely the most brutal, successful executor of the Palestinian vision of no Jewish state. They're not some alien element that infiltrated Palestinian society and hijacked it.
And why then do we have that narrative that says the Hamas does not represent the Palestinians? Why would people say that when the Palestinians come along and say, actually they do?
Yes. So here I have to go from the innocent to the sinister. The innocent explanation is the neocolonial one, that Westerners...
That's the innocent explanation.
That's the innocent.
Okay, I want to hear what the sinister one is.
The sinister one is that they actually participate in the same desire and they just want to give it a mask of respectability.
Which, of course, we should state is definitely not the way that our firm allies who have been making that have been saying.
Yes, so, but that's where it goes from. And also, I think there's, as the saying with from the river to the sea, all that, there's a desire to run away from the implications. Because if Hamas represents the Palestinians, then the job ahead of us is much, much, much harder than, again, removing the settlements, ending the occupations. Even if those are logistically challenging issues, they're at least simple. If all the Palestinians are is a people seeking freedom, ending the occupation, annoyed by settlements, then the solution is clear. Just finish these things.
But if that's not what is going on
Exactly. If they are truly committed, as they have been for the last century, that there will be no sovereign Jews between the river and the sea, then what needs to be done is the very transformation of who they are, their deepest identity, their ideology.
And that's already a much bigger policy challenge.
Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Until next time, stay informed and inspired. This is Dejobnik signing off.